Let's look at the Dallas Cowboys' weapons compared to everybody else.
Just the weapons. This is from Bill Barnwell at ESPN. This is not a ranking of the offenses. This is just running back, wide receiver, tight end. They are completely separated from the offensive lines and the quarterbacks and the coaching staffs. So basically, his exercise is trying to figure out if every team had a league average quarterback, league average offensive line, and a league average play caller / coordinator with average luck, who would be the best offenses?
Already a better study than Bobby's.
And
Mine is based in math, not in Bill Barnwell's feelings.
One day we'll get the results of it instead of hearing about the formula every day.
I've done the 1958 to 63 season
With 5 results.
I'm just trying to figure out how to soften and preserve your feelings when you find out John Elway in the modern era would have been 19 touchdowns and 17 interceptions.
I don't have to. I'll just call your work stupid.
So you go down the list. It's Titans at 32. They're just awful. And Carolina, New England, Cleveland, Buffalo at 28.
Whoa.
Buffalo at 20. Last year they were 24th. The year before that they were 20th. So Dalton Kincaid, and you're going to have obviously Cook.
I mean, give me their receivers. I guess it makes sense after Diggs left. Who are the receivers?
Yeah, if they don't have
Shakir.
James Cook,
Shakir.
if they don't have James Cook, that might be enough to drop them to 32.
Man, this looks like Elway's 1993 year. In all seriousness, Shakir led the way with 76 catches. Number 2 was Dalton Kincaid with 44 catches. Then James Cook. It goes receiver, tight end, running back for last year's Buffalo. Now, a lot of people would say, hey, look at the balance you achieved. You need to get some off of Josh's plate. James Cook, as Peyton knows, won me all my fantasy championships. So I guess you can't knock it too much.
The Jets at 27. The Giants at 26. Giants have been in the bottom 6 for the last 3 years. The Bears. The Bears went from 6th last year to 25th.
Okay, this still surprises me because I remember some names on Chicago. Bobby, you're making a stink face.
Yeah, well,
They had Roma Dunze they drafted.
Yeah, I was. They have Roma Dunze. They have DJ Moore.
Yeah.
They had Keenan Allen.
The tight end decision that everyone lost their draft mind over.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not the Michigan. They have Colton Loveland. Yeah. And so the one I was making a face at was that might be too low for the Giants. Like, I mean,
Malik.
Tyrone Tracy's a good player at running back. Malik Neighbors is a really good receiver. Daniel Bellinger's not a bad tight end. Like, I don't think that they've got terrible weapons. I'm not saying they're top of the league, but putting them basically bottom 10 feels a little.
Don't forget Scattaboo.
Is Keenan Allen still? Is he still unemployed?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
But
So the
DJ
Bears.
Moore, Adunze, tight ends. A little surprised at that low.
The Saints at 24. The Broncos at 23. Broncos were 30th last year. Here come the Chargers. San Diego Superchargers. Labaconki. Pittsburgh at 21. Adding DK. The Raiders at 20.
By the way, didn't you say all these sexy Steeler additions is not moving the line in Vegas?
No, yeah, it hasn't moved them at all. In fact, they're still 8.5. So Vegas is not buying into them. That just feels like the easy. Everybody talks about the NFC East. Nobody wins a back-to-back, things like that. It feels like the easiest one would be over for the Steelers this year on 8.5.
You idea over?
I mean, I like it for the last 22 years or whatever it is.
Julian Edelman also took a little shot at the Steelers' new quarterback on the herd, comparing Brady's final year with Aaron's.
You can't even put those guys in the same sentence because we didn't know it was Tom Brady's last year when it was last year.
Right.
He didn't want the distraction of that. He wanted to go out and play his best possible football that he could play the last year of his career without making it a distraction. Now, we know it's his last year, and we've heard that before.
It's a little funny that we're talking about, like, he didn't want to make it a distraction, really, because he did retire and then he came back. Like, he made a lot of distractions, including in his own home from it.
Right. It's true. Seattle is at 19. Jacksonville at 18. So you have Brian Thomas, then obviously you had Travis Hunter. Green Bay at 17. Green Bay's got 48 receivers.
So, this is the midway point right here. I just think it's
number one.
I think it's fascinating to look at Buffalo, Denver, Chargers, Steelers, Packers. Those are 5 teams in the bottom half of the league in weapons, and those teams on average last year won 11 games.
Wow.
So, that's
Give me those teams again.
It's Buffalo, Denver, Chargers, Steelers, Packers.
Steelers, Packers. I was going to say, all five obviously have just an amazing quarterback, but that qualifies for Josh Allen. Doesn't qualify for Pittsburgh last year. Jordan Love is good. Herbert, disappointing, or limited last year, handcuffed, it felt like. And then Bo Nix, not established as great. So it's not just writing that off to all five great quarterbacks. Is that telling us something bigger about the league?
It just makes me wonder are you investing in the wrong thing potentially if you're going the direction of like skill position above everything else, which some teams do. Like Miami's done that in recent years. Miami a lot of times will prioritize speed and skill positions. What all of those teams generally have in common is probably just the generic toughness thing, which if we're talking about Dallas, that's the thing we felt like maybe they've lacked sometimes, that they're just not gritty glass eaters. That's what stands out to me when I see those five teams. I think of, those are tough football teams.
Yeah, also when you don't pay your wide receivers and running backs and tight ends big bucks, I mean, you can have a really loaded team, too. I
mean, outside of Buffalo, which has the MVP, the other four, I love their coach. It's Sean Payton, it's Jim Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin, and Matt LaFleur.
It is the ranking of the NFL wide receiver, tight end, running back tandems. This is completely separated from quarterback, offensive line, play caller, etc. It's just these skill positions. So Green Bay at 17. Indianapolis at 16.
Little high?
Yeah, for me probably, but I mean,
give me the weapons.
It's Taylor, it's Alec Pierce. Like those are going to be two of the ones right off the top. Jonathan Taylor and Alec Pierce. I'm trying to think who else there. Those are the two that just popped to mind for me. I can't
name a receiver.
Alec Pierce is a receiver.
Oh, Alec Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
Pittman.
Yeah, Michael Pittman.
But then Josh Downs, he had 72 catches. Downs and Pittman each had 70 catches apiece. Pierce had 37. But still seems a little bit high, but maybe they love Jonathan Taylor.
Arizona at 15. They've gone from 30th to 21st to 15th.
Marvin
and Trey McBride. I'm trying to think who the running back is. James Conner. Yeah, so I mean, that's a pretty good collection.
Houston drops from 4th to 14th. Washington up from 26th to 13th. They added Debo.
Got Terry.
Kind of. Kansas City at 12. Last 3 years, they've been 19, 14, and this year 12.
And Pat Mahomes.
Fatty.
Fat Mahomes. That's a Kansas City podcast joke. He was asked by Kay Adams. He's been hearing a lot of the chirping this offseason.
I'm honestly just ready to play football again. Whenever you lose, you kind of have this taste in your mouth that you want to go out there and revenge that or whatever you want to say. But at the same time, I feel like I've had to sit back and just listen to people talk, and I'm like, let's just play football and just handle it all out there. And I don't really want to talk about it. I just want to go out and show who we are as a Kansas City Chiefs.
I am announcing my fantasy football quarterback. I'm ruining and giving away my draft strategy like Jerry and showing off the board.
Joe Milton.
Pat Mahomes he's going to have a revenge year. Without the revenge bod. He's going to come out. He's going to come out and destroy and tear up the entire league.
Kansas City at 12. I don't think that's crazy. Number 11.
It's nice to also have a revenge year right after coming off a Super Bowl.
I know, right? I know. Yeah, a lot of people revenge year is like, you Joe Burrow would be a revenge year coming off of a missing the postseason.
Right.
Number 11. After being ranked 7th in 2023 and 18th last year, it is the Cowboys.
Oh, Cowboys.
Last season was this is the write-up from Bill Barnwell. Last season was a step backward for CD Lamb, but it seems reasonable to chalk up some of his decline to Dak's injury.
Yeah, seems reasonable.
And also him missing all of training camp.
Even at what felt like a down year before a shoulder injury led the Cowboys to wave the white flag, he ranked 17th among wide receivers in yards per route run. Working so often out of the slot, he benefits from having a quarterback with elite accuracy, willingness to put the ball into tight space like Dak. He might be a little more susceptible to a change under center than Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, which represents a very tiny tier gap at the top of the wide receiver food chain. He will finally get some help. George Pickens should, on what can only be described as the most paper-ish substance imaginable, be an upgrade over the likes of Michael Gallup and Brandon Cooks. Throwing a steady stream of back shoulders and 50-50 balls in Pittsburgh, he had the second lowest expected catch rate, 53%, and sixth highest catch rate over expectation, plus 6.1%, among wideouts with at least 200 targets over the last 3 years. It should boost his efficiency. He won't have a clear path to as massive of a target share, given what happened to many Steeler receivers when they left the protection of the Mike Tomlin behavioral cocoon. It's only realistic to wonder if he will melt down in spectacular fashion. There's also a Pro Bowl caliber upside here, however.
Dak Prescott, speaking yesterday at his camp, was talking about the new wide receiver chemistry with GP in town.
That might be the best part about it. That's two guys that's one the other guy to succeed just as much. That is literally the best part about.
All right, let's restart this. Why do you want to mess up right now?
It's like he's on the phone with us.
That might be the best part about it. That's two guys that want the other guy to succeed just as much. That is literally the best part about those two men is seeing it firsthand, just them two hanging out, and me, the bystander. I go in the house, purposely for a little bit, and just peeking at them. They love each other. They love each other's company. They love each other's game. They're just watch them on the field, them talking to each other, to them just being one-on-one, like I said, on the porch. They're going to push each other. And to be the guy that gets to get them the ball, it's exciting as hell because you can turn on the OTA tapes and one of the guys, the ball's in the air, and the other one's got his hands up celebrating already. That we just got to continue to grow that and continue to, make sure that that's trending the right way.
Tad Carper, PR director in Frisco, look out because number 4 could be taking your job very soon. Wow, I want him as my agent if I'm Pickens. I mean, just glowing reviews.
Yeah, this is. He had said it during OTAs the first time they talked about it. What was it? He was like, "Yeah, I think George kind of proves why the phrase "don't judge a book by its cover." Like you shouldn't listen to what people say and blah blah blah. And so he's been.
I'm saying this with a wink, as Jerry would say, a smile on my face.
Yeah,
Dak is basically eviscerating the Pittsburgh Steelers organization and Mike Tomlin.
On behalf of George, it sounds like that's probably the way.
It's just like whatever they couldn't control him. How are they not seeing the glory of this guy? Are you kidding me? Like he loves football. Oh, we got a gem here. What were they doing over in Pittsburgh? Again, smile on my face.
All right, so he would end this with, I'm not entirely sure why Dallas downgraded from Rico to Javonte Williams by choice. This is arguably the league's worst backfield on paper. While these ranking index more heavily on wide receiver, the Cowboys seem entirely disinterested in even taking fun flyers at running back.
Miles Sanders is not a fun flyer on the surface because nobody's excited about it. I am going to be interested when we see him at camp. I think he's at least got a little bit of juice that I think we saw during OTAs and mini camp that has me a little interested. They're obviously banking on they think Jaden Blue will be a guy that into the future can be electric for them as a receiver, as a running back, doing various things. I think it's hilarious listening to this. He's right, but I still think it's hilarious that we're talking about CD Lamb having just this massively disappointing year last year. And it's massively disappointing is he goes from first team All-Pro to he was a second team All-Pro receiver. He had 101 receptions instead of 135.
Right.
In fact, if you look last year, that 1194 that he had on yards, over the last decade, the last 10 seasons that they've played, the number of receivers to have 1,194 yards not named CD Lamb for the Cowboys is 0. Coop never did it. Gallup never did it. Des Bryant didn't do it the last couple of years. He performed at a high level.
So what number did they come in on the weapons list?
11th.
All right, let's knock out the top 10.
All right, number 10, Miami. They go from 8 to 3rd to 10th. Number 9. Atlanta. 10, 10, and then 9th. So up one spot. Number 8 is Baltimore, who spent the previous 2 years at 15th.
No excuses, Shan. No excuses for Lamar anymore.
Number 7, Tampa.
Makes sense.
Number 6 is Minnesota. They've been 6th, 5th, and 6th for the last 3 years.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins had that Minnesota withdrawal yesterday when I watched Netflix quarterback season 1. oh, like it's the ex-girlfriend. Look who they're dating. Like, look who's throwing to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison now. And also Cousins saying if he knew they were going to draft Penix, he would have stayed in Minnesota.
Yeah.
But they also drafted JJ.
Yeah, they did. But yeah, also like Minnesota. I mean, he went from a 9 in Minnesota to an 8. It's not like Atlanta's got bums. Like they're in the top 10 here too. The Rams at 5th.
Atlanta's got the Ted McMillan comp.
That's right.
Too high.
For
Rams.
Really?
Yep.
Puka, Devontae.
Sure. If this
Kyron Williams.
If this is 2 years ago, sure,
Higbee?
I'm all about it.
Well, he's got a quarterback now, Bobby.
Like, but
he didn't have one in Aaron Rodgers. He does in Stafford.
Would you, like, for instance, I think as much as, Atlanta is not a team that's fulfilled their potential at all, I'm taking Atlanta's weapons over the Rams.
San Fran, number 4. They have been number 1 for each of the last 2 years.
Number 4?
After getting rid of half their roster, they're number 4. This is Bill.
How? Ayuk?
Well, Ayuk, obviously.
Ayuk is on fire.
George Brittle. That's my new nickname for him.
That's good.
George, Kittle.
He said he's factoring injuries into this. Ayuk is coming off an ACL, and Kittle's hurt all the time.
And isn't McCaffrey coming off an Achilles?
Come on, man.
Juwan Jennings.
I mean, they're
Ricky Pearsall?
Ricky Pearsall had a nice. He's a fantasy sleeper as well. Cover your ears.
Number 3, Cincinnati. Cincinnati was somehow 11th last year. I don't know how.
This would have been number 1 for me. Cincy.
See, to me, I think there was 2 choices for number 1, and you could interchange them, and it would have been Detroit or Philly, and that who winds up being 1 and 2.
I don't think that Detroit's weapons are as good as Cincinnati's.
Well, their receivers are not. Mm-hmm. So Chase and Higgins are better than Amon-Ra and Jameson, but is the gap there? Like the Detroit running backs, Montgomery and Gibbs are much better than anything Cincinnati throws out there.
Chase Brown's pretty good.
Yeah, but he's not Jameer
But Chase
Gibbs.
Brown and Mike Gesicki are good enough that when Barnwell says that part of what he's doing for this formula is receivers are weighted heavier than any of the other skill position players, it doesn't sound like it is then.
But then Laporte is much better than is it who's there? Cole Kmet?
No, Mike Gesicki.
Is Kmet not there? Not there?
I'm talking about Cincinnati. Like Gesicki has been there, and so he was good. Like Laporte was good, but Laporte also had a down year last year relative to his first season.
Yeah. So 3 is Cincinnati. Detroit is number 2, and then Philadelphia is number 1.
Fair.
Philly deserve 1.
I would have put Cincy, but I'm not going to fight. Like if you want to put Philly number 1, it's Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Saquon coming off of the season that he's had. Yeah, it's a really, really good skill position group.
All right, there it is. Inside the Star and around the NFL.